Good morning. Today we'll first take a look at the biography of Matthew Arnold. The poem The Scholar's Gypsy by Matthew Arnold is prescribed for the students of BA Part 3, Paper 1. First, a look at the biography. Matthew Arnold was born on December 24, 1822. His father, Dr. Thomas Arnold, whose ideals of Christian education were influential. As a young man, Matthew Arnold saw something of William Wordsworth, Robert Southey, and other veterans of English Romanticism. Educated at Rugby and then at Balliol College, Oxford, he early began to write poetry. The closest friend of his youth was Arthur Hugh Clough, a poet whose death Matthew Arnold would later mourn in his elegy Thyrsis. In 1844, Arnold took a second-class honours degree at Oxford, and the following year he was elected to a fellowship at Oriel College. After some teaching, he became private secretary to Lord Lansdowne, who eventually had him appointed to an inspectorship of schools, a difficult, demanding job which required Arnold to do a good deal of travelling and which he held for most of his life. Several of Arnold's early poems express his hopeless love for a girl he calls Marguerite. Scholars have been unable to identify an original for this girl, and whether she existed at all is a question. In 1851, Arnold married Frances Lucy Whitman, the daughter of a judge. The marriage was a happy one, and some of Arnold's most attractive poems are addressed to his children. Career as a poet. In 1849, Arnold, under the pseudonym A, published a collection of short lyric poems called The Strayed Reveller. The sale was poor and the book was withdrawn. In 1852, he published another collection, Empedocles on Etna and Other Poems, but this too, after a sale of 50 copies, was withdrawn. In 1853, Arnold published a collection called simply Poems. It included poems from the two earlier collections, as well as others never published, notably Sohrab and Rustam and The Scholar Gypsy. The former is a short epic. In style, it is frequently reminiscent, meaning it reminds us of John Milton, but very beautiful in its own right. The Persian hero Rustam has never seen his son Sohrab, who was raised by the Tartars and becomes one of the bravest of their warriors. The two men meet in single combat, and just as the son recognizes his father, the former falls dead. The Scholar Gypsy is based on an old story of an Oxford student who left his university and joined a gypsy band. His spirit is supposed still to haunt the Oxford countryside. The poem contrasts the life of the legendary gypsy with Arnold's own times, which he finds sick, divided, and distracting. Poems, second series, 1855, includes another small blank verse epic called Balder Dead. In 1857, Arnold was elected to the professorship of poetry at Oxford, and he held this post for the next decade. He was the first professor of poetry to give his lectures in English rather than in Latin. In 1858, Arnold published Merope, a classical tragedy. New Poems of 1867 includes Thyrsis, a monody, the pastoral elegy in which Arnold again celebrates the Oxford countryside and mourns the death of his friend Claude. The poem invites comparison with other great classical elegies in English, for example, Milton's Lycidas and Percy Bysshe Shelley's Adonais. In 1869, Arnold collected his poems into volumes. An important new poem is Rugby Chapel, in which he pays tribute to his father. Although Arnold wrote both epic and dramatic poetry, his poems are probably his lyrics, such as Dover Beach, To Margaret Continued, and The Buried Life. Literary and social criticism. In 1861, Arnold published his lectures on translating Homer, and in the next year on translating Homer last words. He first isolates the main characteristics of the Homeric style and then considers a number of translations of Homer and the degree of their success in duplicating these characteristics in English. The books are lively introductions to classical poetry and urge English writers to imitate Homer's grand style. Arnold's two volumes, Essay in Criticism, 1865 and 1888, includes essays on a variety of writers like Marcus Aurelius, Henry Heine, Leo Tolstoy, and Wordsworth among them. His critical essays are concerned with the discipline and preservation of taste at a time when literary standards were threatened by commercialism. Commercialism means the attitude that making money is more important than anything else. And mass education. With schoolmasterly repetitiousness, Arnold attracts classic English provincialism. Provincialism means ideas and behavior that is typical of places outside a country's capital and so may seem as old-fashioned or simple. Or Philistinism. Philistinism means attitude or quality of not caring about or understanding or liking good art or music, or as he calls it. He particularly values the quality of high seriousness, an author's power to concentrate on the perpetually important issues in human life. Arnold suggests that his readers keep always in mind certain sublime moments in literature, which will serve as touchstones in the judgment of contemporary work. Of the several books which Arnold wrote on politics and sociology, the most important is Culture and Anarchy, 1869. He criticizes 19th century English politicians for their lack of purpose and their excessive concern with the machinery of society. The English people and the narrow-minded class, middle class in particular, lack sweetness and light, a phrase which Arnold borrowed from Jonathan Swift. England can only be saved by the development of culture, which for Arnold means the free play of critical intelligence, a willingness to question all authority, and to make judgments in a leisurely and disinterested way. Of the 4 books in which Arnold dealt with the threat to religion posed by science and historical scholarship, the most important is Literature and Dogma of 1873. He argues that the Bible has the importance of a supremely great literary work, and as such it cannot be discredited by charges of historical inaccuracy. And the Church, like any other time-honored social institution, must be reformed with care and with a sense of its historical importance to English culture. Arnold was one of the great Victorian controversialists, and his books are contributions to a national discussion of literature, religion, and education. His style is witty, ironic, and varied. He exhorts his readers, chides them, meaning scolds them, and even teases them. His books were widely read, and in the magazines in which he regularly published, he defended his views against all comers. In 1883 and 1886, he toured the United States and gave lectures in which he tried to win Americans to the cause of culture. On April 15, 1888, Arnold went to Liverpool to meet his beloved daughter, and he died there of a sudden heart attack. We will continue in the next session. Thank you.